tighter as he stepped out of his black sedan. At 45, he was one of the most successful businessmen in New York. His company owned hotels, restaurants, and shopping centers across the country. People knew his name from magazines and newspapers. They called him the king of real estate and wrote stories about his incredible wealth. But tonight, Marcus felt empty inside. He had just left another fancy Christmas party where people smiled at him because of his money, not because they truly cared about him. His penthouse apartment waited for him, cold and quiet, with no family to share the holiday. His ex-wife had taken their son
Look, what's
and
this?
moved across the country
It's
3
something
years ago.
shiny.
Christmas had become just another lonely night. As his driver waited by the car, Marcus decided to walk the last few blocks home. He needed fresh air and time to think. The streets were quieter now as families gathered in their warm homes for Christmas Eve dinner. Marcus passed a small church where he could hear people singing carols. Through the windows, he saw children laughing and families holding hands. A painful feeling grabbed his chest as he remembered what he had lost. He turned down a side street, taking a shortcut through a less wealthy part of the city. Here, the buildings were older and smaller. The Christmas decorations were simpler, but somehow felt more real. As he walked, something caught his eye near a row of garbage cans behind a small apartment building. A small figure was bent over, carefully searching through the trash. In the dim light from a street lamp, Marcus could see it was a young girl, maybe 10 or 11 years old. She wore a thin jacket that was too big for her, and her small hands were red from the cold as she pulled items from the garbage bags. Her dark skin was barely visible under a worn knit hat, and her breath made small clouds in the freezing air. Marcus stopped walking. His first thought was to call the police. What was a child doing alone on the streets on Christmas Eve? Why was she going through garbage? But something made him stay and watch instead of immediately calling for help. The girl worked with careful purpose. She was not just grabbing random things. She examined each item she found, keeping some and putting others back. Marcus saw her pull out a small toy car with a broken wheel. She studied it carefully, then smiled and put it in a plastic bag she carried. Next, she found a book with torn pages. She flipped through it, and even from a distance, Marcus could see her face light up as she placed it with her other treasures. What struck Marcus most was that she did not look desperate or scared. She looked determined and hopeful. When she found a half-used candle, she held it up to the light and nodded with satisfaction before adding it to her collection. There was something almost magical about the way she approached her task, as if she were shopping in the finest store instead of searching through trash. Marcus felt his heart begin to race. Every instinct told him to approach the girl, but he hesitated. What would he say? What did a billionaire know about the life this child was living? He had spent so many years surrounded by wealth and comfort that he felt disconnected from real struggle and hardship. The girl stood up and looked around carefully. For a moment, Marcus thought she had seen him, but her attention was focused on something else. She moved to another garbage can and began searching again. This time, she pulled out a small, dented pot and examined it closely. She seemed pleased with her find and added it to her bag. As Marcus continued to watch, he began to notice other things. The girl's movements were quiet and careful, as if she did not want to wake anyone. She was respectful of the property around her, making sure not to scatter garbage or make a mess. When she accidentally knocked over a small recycling container, she quickly picked up every piece and put it back exactly as she had found it. This was not a random act. The girl clearly had experience with this kind of searching. She knew what to look for and how to look for it without causing problems. But what could she possibly need so badly that she would search through garbage on Christmas Eve? Marcus pulled out his phone to call for help, but then he stopped. What if calling the police made things worse for the girl? What if she was taken away from family who needed her? He realized he did not understand her situation at all. Maybe there was more to this story than what he could see. The girl finished searching the second garbage can and moved to a third. This time, she pulled out something that made Marcus gasp softly. It was a small, stuffed animal, a teddy bear that had seen better days. One of its ears was torn, and its fur was matted and dirty. But when the girl found it, her whole face changed. She hugged the bear tightly against her chest and smiled the biggest, most genuine smile Marcus had seen in years. She held the bear for a long moment, and Marcus could see her lips moving as if she were talking to it. Then, she carefully placed it in her bag with the rest of her treasures. The love and care she showed for that discarded toy bear touched something deep inside Marcus's heart. As the girl prepared to move to another area, Marcus made a decision. He could not just stand there watching anymore. He needed to know what was happening and if he could help. But he also knew he had to be careful. A strange man approaching a child alone at night could frighten her or put her in danger. He stepped forward slowly, making sure his footsteps were loud enough for her to hear him coming. The girl looked up quickly, and, for the first time, Marcus saw her face clearly. She was beautiful, with bright, intelligent eyes that seemed much older than her young age. But there was no fear in those eyes, only curiosity and caution. "Hello," Marcus said gently, stopping several feet away so she would not feel trapped. "Are you okay? Do you need help?" The girl studied him carefully before responding. "I'm fine, thank you," she said politely. Her voice was soft but clear, and Marcus was surprised by how well she spoke. "I'm just looking for some things." "It's very cold tonight," Marcus said, noticing how she shivered slightly. "And it's Christmas Eve. Shouldn't you be somewhere warm with your family?" The girl's expression changed slightly, becoming more guarded. "I am with my family," she said. "This is for them." Marcus felt confused. "What do you mean?" The girl looked down at her bag of collected items, then back at Marcus. Something in his face must have convinced her that he genuinely cared, because her defensive posture relaxed a little. "Tomorrow is Christmas," she said simply. "These are presents for my little brothers and sister, and my mama needs the pot for cooking." Marcus felt his world tilt slightly. This child was not homeless or abandoned. She was shopping in the garbage for Christmas presents for her family. "What's your name?" he asked gently. "Maya," she replied, still watching him carefully. "Maya, I'm Marcus. Can you tell me about your family?" Maya hesitated for a moment, then seemed to decide that Marcus was safe to talk to. "There's my mama, and my little sister Emma, who is 6, and my twin brothers David and Daniel, who are 4. Mama works really hard, but things have been difficult since Daddy died 2 years ago." Marcus felt his heart break a little with each word. "And you're looking for Christmas presents in the garbage?" Maya's chin lifted with pride. "They're not garbage to us," she said firmly. "People throw away lots of good things. I found a toy car for David, and a book for Emma, who loves to read. Daniel likes stuffed animals, so the bear is perfect for him. And Mama needs a pot because ours has a big hole in it." The simplicity and love in her explanation left Marcus speechless for a moment. This child had turned necessity into an act of love. She had found a way to give her family Christmas presents when they had no money, and she spoke about it with such dignity and joy. "Where do you live, Maya?" Marcus asked. Maya pointed to the apartment building behind them. "On the 3rd floor. Apartment 3B. Mama is working late tonight, and the little ones are sleeping. I wanted to find everything before morning so I could surprise them." Marcus looked at the old building. Many of the windows were dark, but he could see warm light coming from a few apartments where families were probably celebrating Christmas Eve together. Maya's family lived right here, and she had been searching through the garbage behind her own building. "Maya," Marcus said carefully, "would it be okay if I helped you look for presents?" Maya looked surprised. "You want to help me look through the trash?" "I want to help you make Christmas special for your family," Marcus said. "But maybe we can do better than just looking through garbage cans." Maya's eyes narrowed slightly. "We don't take charity," she said firmly. "Mama taught us to be proud and work for what we need." Marcus realized he had to be very careful. This child and her family had dignity and pride despite their difficult situation. Any help he offered had to respect that. "What if it wasn't charity?" Marcus asked. "What if you helped me with something, and I helped you in return?" Maya considered this. "What kind of help would you need?" Marcus thought quickly. "Well, it's Christmas Eve, and I'm all alone. I was feeling very sad about that. But talking to you has made me feel better. Maybe you could help me understand what Christmas is really about, and I could help you get better presents for your family." Maya studied Marcus's face for a long moment. Despite her young age, she seemed to have a gift for reading people. Finally, she nodded slowly. "Okay," she said. "But the presents still have to be earned, not just given." "Absolutely," Marcus agreed. "Now, tell me more about your brothers and sister. What do they really love?" What would make them happiest? As Maya began to describe her family, Marcus felt something awakening in his heart that had been sleeping for years. This remarkable little girl was about to teach him what Christmas really meant, though neither of them knew it yet. Maya told him about Emma, who dreamed of becoming a teacher and loved books